Hey, welcome back everybody. This is Season Your Life, and in this episode we're going to be doing spicy pork burritos. Okay, let's get started. And in our last video, I didn't show the prep work that went into the recipe, so in this episode I will. Starting off with our ingredients. We're going to be using green onions, Serrano peppers, tomatoes, onions, pork, of course, and some flour tortillas. You're gonna need them large so you can wrap it at the end, and some garlic cloves as well. And I'll give kind of like the exact amount of each in the description below and how much I've used in this one. Alright, let's get to cutting everything up. Alright, we're only gonna need around half the onion this time around, so we're gonna cut that in half and we're gonna start peeling this guy up. Alright, once you got everything peeled, I noticed there was kind of like a dry part at the top, so I just cut that off. Make sure you don't cut the root, the bottom of the onion off, because you're going to need that. So once you do that, you're going to notice the lines going down the onion, and you're going to want to cut with those, and then you're going to cut across that, and you're going to have diced onions, and you're going to be left with the root. You can just throw that away. And now we're going to move on to our green onions. Green onions obviously are the same as onions, but have kind of a milder and just a different flavor. So we're going to cut off the white and the light green pieces off and set them to the side, and then we're going to cut up the rest of it, separate those. So as I said, green onions have kind of a milder onion flavor, but the white and light green parts have a stronger flavor than the dark green parts, so we're just going to separate those. Alright, now we're going to move on to our tomato, fix up our cutting board, and we're going to take out this stem. And I'm going to show you how to take this off in a kind of fancy, not really way. We're just going to cut a V into the top. Make sure you go into that yellow stem that you see there, and it's not going to come off at first. You're just going to go in from the back, and once you do that, it should fall right off. And you can see that yellow part of the stem came all the way off, and now we're just going to cut up the tomato. Alright, now moving on to the Serrano pepper. We're going to cut off the top here and cut it in half. And we're cutting it in half so in case you don't like your food too spicy, you can just take this rind and take it right off. But I like spicy, so I'm just going to leave it on. So we're going to cut this up too, slice it up. And now we're going to move on to our garlic. We're going to take off the ends here, kind of like the roots of the garlic. And then we're going to do the same thing and just discard that, and then we're going to start mincing up our garlic. Alright, and once you do that, we're ready to move on. So we're going to cook our pork. When we cook it, we're going to add onion, we're going to add garlic, and we're going to add our green onions as well. We're also going to add butter. Alright, and moving on to the stovetop, we're gonna start with our butter, plop it right on down there, and then I didn't show it, but I cut up the pork and I threw in about a third of the onions that we cut up and all of the green onions, the white parts at least. So you're gonna cook that in with the butter, make sure to get a little bit of color on them, and once you do that, we're gonna be adding our pork next. Alright, and now that you've added your pork, we're going to stir that all together, introduce everyone to one another. Once you've been cooking it for about like 5 to 7 minutes, maybe even less, you're going to add the garlic. Just plop it right down there. Okay, and then you're going to stir that in, cook it for another 3 to 5 minutes, not that much longer. As you can see, we got it hot now. And then once you've done that, we're going to start seasoning. So we got our paprika here. Okay, that's enough. And we're going to add cayenne pepper as well. We're going to add some cumin. And then finally, we're going to add some chili powder. Alright, once you've done all that, You're gonna start stirring everything together, make sure all the spices are evenly distributed until you get this kind of color. Once you do that, we're gonna wanna turn up the heat to high because we wanna get kind of like a smoky flavor that you would get from a grill. So we're gonna burn the bottom, but not too much, just enough to kind of get a little bit of char, just like this. Stir it up, leave it on for another char, and then after you've done that, we're gonna kill the heat, add the serranos, and the serrano peppers will cook with the residual heat from the pan and the pork, so it's not like it's gonna be raw or anything. All right, stir that up, and you should end up with a finished product like this. Once we've done all that, our pork is done, and we're ready to assemble the burrito. So I've heated up a tortilla with some freshly grated cheddar cheese. Just put that on, melt it a little bit, and then we're gonna add our pork. Protein usually goes first, it just works that way. And then we're gonna add our tomato. And then we're gonna add our sour cream, green onions. All right, and now I'm gonna show you how to fold up the burrito. So we're just gonna take the sides, throw them in, and then we're gonna flip the bottom up. And at this point, you're gonna wanna squeeze the burrito as tight as you want it. So once you do that, you're gonna take the corner pieces that are peeking out on the sides here, and you're gonna fold them in. All right, fold them in, and then you're just gonna roll it up. And that's it. You got a perfect rolled up burrito. So, and this wouldn't be a good burrito video without a good cross section. So we're just gonna cut this down the middle at some degree angle. And I try to make it look good from this angle, but it just wasn't working. So I showed you the finished product. And I thought it looked so good that I just made another one. But yeah, that's the end of the video. So if you enjoyed it, remember to like and subscribe. All right, see ya.